For hedge trimmers, tree cutters, and landscapers, selecting the wrong tool or equipment for the job can cause serious injuries, lengthy work shortages, and even power outages. In this video, I'll explain how you can choose the right tools and equipment for your work tasks and use this equipment safely. All hand tools, power tools, and ladders can become hazards. You could be injured if they are used incorrectly or without appropriate controls. It is important to keep equipment and tools in mind when you're assessing the hazards on your project. Ask yourself a few questions. Could I fall from the equipment I'm using? Could my ladder or equipment come in contact with a power line? Does any of my equipment have sharp edges or blades I could cut myself on? To do this, break down the work on a project into tasks, and then identify hazards and risks for each. Ask yourself which equipment and tools are needed for each task, who will be using it, and where. During the assessment, decide which tools and equipment pose the lowest level of risk. Remember, your supervisor has to make sure you are trained on any equipment you'll be using. One major hazard you'll have to consider is falls, particularly falls from ladders. Landscapers and arborists often use ladders in wet weather and in proximity to overhead power lines, increasing their risk of falling. Falls are one of the most common working at height hazards, and they're a leading cause of injury and death in Ontario workplaces. Because they're so commonly used in a workplace, workers can become overconfident and skip safety protocols. The most effective control for a fall hazard is elimination. If possible, use an extendable tool, like a trimmer, to do the work from the ground. If working from the ground isn't possible, consider whether you can set up a scaffold or a mobile elevating work platform. If you've eliminated every other option for working at height, the only safe ladder is a platform ladder. Always inspect your ladder before each use. Look for cracks or other damage, signs of wear, or missing rungs. Set up the ladder on a firm, level surface. Don't use a ladder on uneven or slippery surfaces. Be careful about which tools you use from a ladder. You cannot safely use power tools like trimmers or chainsaws, even from a platform ladder. When working from a platform ladder, avoid leaning out. Before a ladder is used, any potential risks have to be addressed with proper PPE. Whether it's trimming hedges or pruning trees, maintaining vegetation could bring you up high and close to overhead power lines. Always look up and look out for overhead power lines before you start work to avoid making contact. You should also avoid using aluminum ladders, and as with other tools, choose those made from non-conductive materials such as fiberglass. Like ladders, it's important to inspect tools and equipment regularly and to keep up with preventative maintenance. This helps you spot safety issues or hazards before they can cause you harm. Before each use, inspect your hedge trimmer, chainsaw, or other powered hand tools for damage or wear. Ensure all safety devices, including interlocks or guards, are working. Never skip preventative maintenance, like sharpening blades, proper refueling, or cleaning away dirt and debris to save time. If you notice issues with any equipment, flag them to your supervisor, and remember that you have the right to refuse unsafe work. Never use equipment or tools that you have not been trained to use. While operating power and hand tools, your hands can easily be crushed, cut, burnt, or sprained. Your eyes are also vulnerable to injury during tool use, and excessive noise can impair your hearing. But these injuries are usually preventable with proper safeguards and the use of personal protective equipment. PPE can include eye protection, hearing protection, protective clothing, gloves, or boots, depending on your tasks. Using the wrong tool for the job or using the tool the wrong way can cause serious and painful injuries. Always assess the risks and apply controls before picking up any piece of equipment. Visit IHSA.ca or WSPS.ca for expert advice, because the right tool means a safer job.